Revision 10. Scratches and Hair. After he finishes screaming, Alfarel learns a few names. The old woman who knows what she's about to do is Sima. Nagashua's best friend, a Meccan, has forgotten her, and she no longer wants to live. The man in front of him is Zagquiaire, who is thrilled to be going to paradise. The hardest one of them is Puriel, a murderer, who believes that the next eternity has been populated with the cast-offs of monoism, undesirables and heretics who've been encouraged to take the plummet, so everyone can be quit of them. This, in Puriel's opinion, is turning the next eternity into a kind of penal colony, so she is going ahead to paradise to enforce discipline and make sure it is ready for the rest of the true faith to arrive. "My sister's not a heretic," Alfarel protests. "You'd never meet a more faithful woman." Puriel, suspiciously. "They chose her for the plummet, didn't they? Maybe the monastery wanted to get rid of her." "They chose her because she was wonderful." "And you're chasing after her, I suppose, because you're just as wonderful?" Monoism does not encourage false modesty, but still, Alfarel can only manage to say, "Well, I'm fine." "The way you were screaming a minute ago," old Sima says, "I'd think you're not ready to die." "I won't die. I'll take Zagquiaire. We all will." "The way you were screaming a minute ago," old Sima says, "sounded like a man going to die." Zagquiaire turns around to look back at Alfarel. His face, socketed in the center of a saggingly massive plate of alabile metal, splits into a smile. "Don't be afraid, Alfarel. It'll be paradise. You'll see your sister again." The ineviter groans and shimmies. Old Sima closes her helmet. "This is the grace of gravity," someone says, and then they are all saying the prayer together. Gravity is the gift of purpose, a free path. Effortlessly we speed to our fate, and when we are close enough to fate, time and space change places. Going down becomes the same as passing time. The absence of effort, the geodesic of destiny. Obey your nature. Acceptance, not resignation. Inevitability, not action. Do what comes to you. The fact that it came to you makes it right. Down is the same as tomorrow. Nothing tests our faith. Nothing tests our faith. He roars with all of them. Nothing tests our faith! And then they hit. There is a hideous sound and a spine-cracking jolt. As it strikes the Dawnsire, the Ineviter deploys a cyst of altered space, a tactical event horizon, a Sherazade. For the next 10 minutes, the impact that will smear the Ineviter and everyone inside into a blast of metal and flesh is suspended, trapped on the horizon. Well, most of the collision is trapped. The Ineviter's nose explodes outward. Everyone inside hurtles forward, howling and crying his names. Outside, it is fury. Every anidamine in the compartment hits Zagquiaire. His alabile armor puckers and glows where the anti-armor mines land their stings. Each sting carries a warhead, and the warhead should explode, but the incident armor successfully deletes that event. So instead of exploding him, the mine stingers ricochet inside his armor, and inside him. They are in a vast brutalist girder set, the carbon chain bracing between the Dawnsire's inner and outer hull. Wounded Inocalla spills crazed rainbow light all over them. Ship blood. Everyone casts their center of mass forward, leaps like locusts for the inner hull. There's motion there, shining forms taking cover between the girders and frames. The enemy. The purpose of cover is not to avoid being shot, you will be detected and shot anyway, but to force enemy weapons to cut through the cover to get to you. Sunstar soldiers like cover because they like beam weapons. Monoists like to swarm over them in cover and tear them apart. But Zagquiaire doesn't move. "Alfarel," he sends. His voice is wet and sloshing. "I'm spinning!" "Yes, hang on." Alfarel tries to grapple with him. They end up spinning together. "Hang on, I'll stop you." "No, spin me faster. It's keeping the blood away from my holes." No one's shooting at them. The rest of the boarding party falls upon Free Company foot soldiers, photophori, armed with combat lasers and gladiators. From this distance, the battle sounds like crashing static. The enemy weapons look like scratches and hair. Pulse trains of directed energy make bright scratches when they pass through clouds of vaporized metal, and jets of excited matter shed little corkscrew curlicues as they bend along field lines. "It's pretty," Alfarel says to distract Zagquiaire. "Oh, there's a lot of blood coming out of the armor. Maybe the armor is the only thing holding Zag together." "Alf," Zag gurgles. "Yeah? I want to take Sakaar now." Okay. You're sure?" "My heart hasn't beaten in a while, Alf. The armor's moving my blood. My veins itch. It's no good." A scab of black alabile peels off his abdomen, and the cancelled events stored inside come sputtering out. One of the stinger mines lodged in Zag's body detonates. His armor contains the blast, but he still makes a terrible burp. "I can't give the command. I can't open my singularity bead. Help me." I can help. Where?" Alfarel fumbles at Zagquiaire's armor. "Where is the damn thing?" There, same place, on his brow. "Here, I have it. Are you ready?" "Yes. Should I say something?" "Say, see you in the next eternity, Zag." "See you in the next eternity, Zag." "Thank you, Alfarel. I'll say hello to your sister, if I get there first. What's her name?" "Rafella." "That's like your name." "I know, Zag. I know." Alfarel crushes the singularity bead's housing and kicks free. Zagquiaire collapses into a violet pinprick, eaten by the uncaged void. It drifts there for a moment, but the ship is accelerating, moving up, and falls away beneath Alfarel. It will go straight through the hull, headed for Sothera and the next eternity. If Alfarel could see into that violet spark, he might glimpse the form of the faller, him who plummets. But there is no time. Alfarel grabs his own center of mass and throws it toward the battle. Purael, the murderer, reaves a foot soldier's armor open with surfact shears as long as her spine. A summist whose armor docks hundreds of dragonfly missiles fires them all at once, and they all swing into the same growler beam and swat themselves into the deck. Old Sima grapples through the diffraction patterns of violet lasers, jets of vapor exploding from her armor, and slaps an anidomine on the crest of an enemy's helmet. A Sunstar foot soldier battles beside two strokes of Nagashua's axe and blinds her with a flash of Bladiator light. She grabs for his center of his mass, pulling him onto her. He thrusts the Bladiator through her heart. No one retreats. No one regroups and runs. It's to the death for every last one of them. The Shehrazad's event horizon has cut this part of the Dawnsire off from the greater part of the ship. Reinforcements seconds away will not arrive for minutes. The Incoglus in the walls, the network the summists tap for power, is quick to tap out and slow to refill. There is no entanglement relay to borrow fate, no medics to call, no pulse trains of light shot through the hull by faraway knights. The soldiers of the true faith have the advantage. Then it is over. Alfarel barely got to swing his axe. The next obstacle is the alloy of the inner hull. "Weak light bomb?" Alfarel tries to suggest, but several of the faithful have already pounced with the excitement of huge dark squirrels on the nearest hatch. "They're a puzzle club," Sima says. "What?" "They volunteered to come here because they wanted to break summist locks." "I wonder if there'll be any summist locks in paradise," Purael says. "Just replicas, I suppose," Sima says. "Is that any fun?" "It has to be fun," Alfarel says. "It's paradise." One of the puzzlers bellows, "Praise him!" and takes Sakaar. The violet blip of the puzzler's collapse, smaller than an atom, plunges into the hull brighter than day. It must pierce something vital, because the others scoop at the metal with their armor's tidal grips, feeling for a new weakness. The hatch pops out, spinning away on a jet of atmosphere, and plunges into the girdered fog. Inside is a huge space. Golden chandeliers like anemones of glass fiber gone dim, rows of pews wrapped around dry pools. It's a basilica, a house of the Sunstar faith. Someone, howling, starts burning it. "Mission continues," Purael calls. "Puzzle Club down ship. Find the blasphemy mechanisms. Find out how they work and how long until the javelin can fire. Damage what you can. Others, push up ship toward the bridge." "Good luck," Sima says. "I'm going to kill a solar knight. Try to die usefully." "I'm coming with you," Alfarel says. and get shot. Revision 10. Matador. They plunge down the Dawnsire's spine. They could freefall at 1 gravity, but Vondom sets the pace with thrusters. 2, 3, 4, crushing them with haste. The Charizard's boundary glows. Light is coming out of the fast time inside, creating a violet haze like hawking radiation. Haliyah's armor warns her of zoonotic particle decay, which isn't much of a warning because it has no idea what the consequences might be. Steady, Vondom says. Steady? She is going to die. Vondom is prophesied to die, and she is his squire. If he is going to die, she must die first. She must put her body between him and fate. Below the horizon, nothing seems any different, except for a flood of time-sync errors on Coronet. Vondom breaks to a halt at a transverse causeway, one of the floors on the long skyscraper that is the Dawnsire's hull. Minutes have passed in here. Minutes more before reinforcements reach us. By then we'll be triumphant. Or dead. There is a thrill in his voice, like the red joy of a man-at-arms. Another knight comes through behind them. Walker, trailing Quinidad. Quinidad nods to Haliyah, but Haliyah doesn't know how to nod back. She seems to have forgotten how to do anything but think, we're going to die. Quinidad makes a crisp report. Phonon survey reports fighting. A company of the garrison has engaged boarders just a beam of the basilica. I see it, Vondom murmurs. They've just butchered the Owly foot soldiers. We're in beam range. Walker draws his blade. Vondom. Chasse. Both on that one? No. 2 split. Against armor. They're my Racco, not paladins. 2 split down the veins. Ready? In 5. Walker aims his gladiator. Quinn, sink me. Haliyah, you'll clean my train. Sir! The 2 knights plunge their gladiators into the deck and fire. The ship shrieks in pain. Their beams saw down through soft alloy between the Dawnsire's cross-braced core iron skeleton. Haliyah is there to play Matador for Vondom, cleaning the burned metal and shocked air from his beamline with nanosecond flashes of her own weapon. His deftness. If he's so much as nicked a power bar or data mirror, she will eat her own cape. When the light went out back home, some of the children tried to play curling on the reservoir ice. She is like the broom. His beam is the stones. Tally-ho! Walker calls. He's not happy. Vondom's mildness is venomous. He hates their foe. The deck underneath them groans. Haliyah suddenly gets heavier, then lighter. Quinidad, startled, falls to her knees. Growler! They're gonna bring down the deck! Vondom shouts. Keep fire! Get this one before he takes the car! I'm jitter hot! I'll tap out! Then tap out! The deck whines under their boots. The metal is shuddering at ultrasonic frequencies, stroked by some evil purr. Gravity waves, pulsing up at them from the monoist below. The deck is vibrating so hard that if they were unarmored, the sound alone would kill them. A beautiful white twinkle, like stars in the disc-winter sky, shines up from the deck. It's sonoluminescence. The gravity waves trap pockets of gas in the metal, creating bubbles that pop up and then collapse in just a few picoseconds. Tiny, violent stars. Vondom! Walker shouts. It's going to go! Aye, Sir Vondom says. Oh, stars. Is this how he dies? Trying to bring one of the enemy down with him? She looks for his eyes, but she cannot see his face, of course, as he is enhelmed. Sir, she says, I promise, before they get you, they're going to have to go through... And then the deck goes out from under her. Before she falls, Haliyah does the one and only thing she can and must do. She throws her arms out to her knight and broadcasts every bit of power she can to help keep him alive. The air between them boils with her gift. Then she rides an avalanche of tumbling plates down, bouncing off girders of core iron, into water and powdered metal. Water. A bathhouse. She's in the tank for the bathhouse. Debris slams down on her, but contrary to what you see in movies, where people are always being impaled on random pipes, you can't break right-ruled Free Company armor with random debris. She won't be impaled. Instead, she's going to die of diffuse hematoma from the beatings. The falling metal beats her down into the bottom of the water tank. She grunts and groans and tries to think. Praise the Dawnlight, mover of being. Haliyah plunges her gladiator into the water and ignites. The steam jet cuts through the soft wall of the water tank, and the boiling water blasts her out like a cork into the bathhouse floor. She skids in a plow of condensation into the wall of an empty sauna. She allows herself exactly one groan, rolls over. Where's Vondom? She has to get back to him before— Enemy! Enemy! Gliding toward her headfirst is a sideways thing, a shape so dark and drooling, layered in tongues of alabile rot, that it can only be a monoist. Not one of their Gravkill paladins. She'd be dead already, stretched into a ribbon of Haliyah or compressed into a little human meatball, but a fighter still, a militant zealot. Haliyah snaps her Gladiator up and fires. The paste of powdered metal coating the Gladiator explodes and knocks Haliyah on her ass. The monoist falls smoothly across the tile toward her, still head first, like it is plunging to the top of the shaft of Haliyah's life, about to strike bottom. Revision 10. Alfarel dies usefully. 2 beams through the ceiling skewer Alfarel. They're cutting apart their own ship to get at him, and it would work. They'd kill him right there. Except someone throws a jar of aeromuck that explodes into a doughy mass around him. Still, the hot spots on his armor pulse and throb like a stove kiss. He squalls and tries to curveball away, but the beams track him. What now? What does he do? He can feel the photon strikes queuing up in his armor's matrix like snake bites. Stop! Stop! Not yet! He can't die yet! Old Sima pulls on space like a cat clawing its way up a sheet. Her armor bristles and stretches with microtide. Far above her, something rumbles and comes down like an avalanche. "Falling hell, Sima!" someone swears. "Won't keep them long," Sima says, without emotion. "One of them tapped out, but he'll be back. We've got 7 minutes to kill." Kill. Yes. Is that what Alfarel wants? You chose to be here, you volunteered. You wanted this. Can you find the enemy and kill them? All I wanted was to die. Then die usefully. If old Sima wants to kill Solar Knights, then he will be her bait. "Is this all the free company can muster?" he bellows, in the most guttural doxological massive he can manage. "An empty church and a couple flashlights? I thought this was your powerful weapon. I don't believe in you, and still you're betraying my faith." He expects the beams to find him instantly. Instead, he hears the ongoing roar of collapsing structure. "Behold, I am come, thy ruin and reckoning. I am Alfarel of Secundi, and against me your armor is cracked leather." He should find a heatsink. A finger of steam leads him out of the basilica, down a dark narthex, into a bathhouse for post-worship cleanup. His armor warns him. 6 minutes to Sherazade collapse. 6 minutes until he must take Sakar. His armor pulls his attention to a cloak smeared across the bathhouse's glazed and fractured floor. He pities the dead summist. The dead summist shoots him. There's a blue flash and a clap of steam. Nothing else happens. He's still alive. "Fall you!" Alfarel jabbers and falls on the woman, tearing at the space between them with his armor's tidal claws. Shards of quartz floor tile tear free and hurtle into the summist's back, but Alfarel has forgotten to pull at an angle to himself. All the tidally accelerated debris misses the summist and slams into his own armor. He has shot himself in the face. He scrabbles forward, just like Nagashua. And just like Nagashua, he falls right onto the summist's weapon. Revision 10. Brainwash. The first time someone punched Haliyah in the face, she was fighting over a box of fish flakes deep in the disc winter of her childhood. There she learned that she wasn't ready to be punched in the face. She lost that fight, and the fish flakes. It turns out that being tide-locked by a suit of monoist combat armor is a lot like that. She doesn't panic. She's just bewildered. She trained for this, exactly for this. Why doesn't she know what to do? It's like the knowledge is in a part of her brain she's misplaced. Haliyah, you fraud! Do something! The enemy hurtles toward her, like a knot of feral dog tongues, black and panting. Haliyah tries with shaking hands to clear her weapon, get it back up, and beam the fanatic in the face, but the monoist strews the space between them with debris and swirling wet dust. She can't get a good beam form before they fall together, and the enormous, condensed mass of the monoist fanatic smashes her down. Down, but not out. She switches her Gladiator to short axe mode and keeps it between them. The Gladiator saws into the enemy armor, edged with blue oxygen plasma. She hisses a prayer and pushes as hard as she can. The alabile armor gives up strands of averted events. Huge blowtorch jets erupt from the monoist shoulders and back. The heat of Sir Vondom and Sir Walker's beams uncancelled. Her knight is here with her, helping her. This is the advantage they have over the monoists. they aren't alone. Then the monoist clamps his claws onto both sides of her helmet and accelerates her brain into the side of her skull at 95 gravities. Left, right, left again. The concussion blanks her. For a few seconds, she's nowhere. Her body, deprived of discipline and direction, asks for guidance from several million years of evolution and a more recent palimpsest of germline modifications. It discovers its final ungoverned rage against extinction. The brain has failed? Let the body fight. Her hand shoves the Bladiator into the monoist's armor and fires. Revision 10. Wet Rat. He has never killed before. But it is easy to think, why should this wretched, wet folly of a person get to live when my sister is gone? What right did they have to exist in a cosmos without her? Without me? So Alfarel bears down on the fallen summist and rattles her brain in her skull like a bruised pomegranate. Something bites into his chest. The summist blade splits open. His armor sputters and rots and releases the events of its own creation. His tidal claws fall. The armor unwraps from his body. No, it's not fair. He was winning. He was going to live. As if to demonstrate unfairness, the universe doubles the odds against him. A spear of light explodes against his brow. The strike raises a jet of plasma off the failed armor, and the recoil blasts him into the corner of the bathhouse. "Off her, you polyp!" the Sunstar Knight commands. "Haliyah, concussion drill!" "Sir," gurgles the wet mass on the floor. "Concussed." One of the tenets of the true faith is that monoism truly, inevitably, and provably controls the future. All mass will collapse into black holes. All will join the sacred void. The enemy's bright sum will eventually be reduced to zero. But it gives so little comfort when the enemy is strong now. All there is for Alfarel is Sakaar. Sakaar and the next eternity, and Rafella. Why doesn't he do it? Why doesn't he just do it? "You called out a challenge, Alfarel of Secundi," the Sunstar Knight barks. "I am Sir Vondom of the Sunstar Free Company. I accept your—" Old Sima pounces. She hurtles out of the turbulence of the boiled water tank, like a comet coming to end a whole geologic age. The Knight's lidar blasts a grid of light through the fog as it catches and tracks the new contact, but the grid blisters and warps around Sima, coming back false. The Knight's retaliatory snapshot goes wide. "No!" the wretch on the floor shrieks. Sima swings an anatomine for the crown of the Knight's helm. She's going to do the move. You've seen it 1,000 times in your favorite childhood dynamation. She's going to slap the mine on him and hurtle past, and he'll say, "You missed, you polyp," and she'll say, "Did I?" And then he'll say, "Huh?" and his head will explode. But old Sima, for all her age, for all her quiet mass, is just a Miraco, just a deleter, an eraser, a killer. She doesn't fight by a code of honor. You'd think this would be an advantage. Honor. How silly. But if you're going to fight by a code of honor, you need to be absolutely platinum-grade certain that you can crush anyone who breaks the code. You need to say, "Fight the way we want, or we'll wipe you out so fast you could land an ineviter on your grave." The Knight crossfires his twin Bladiators into the floor. A jet of water alloy plasma explodes like a solar flare, purple stained green with hot titanium. The Knight twists the pulse of sunfire down a magnetic field and blasts Sima askew. His helmet is a blind, reflective dome, but Alfarel knows in his gut that Vondom is grinning. Sir Vondom likes to fight. He likes to kill. He especially likes to kill his enemies, so they can't go to paradise. Mortality denied. Sima's armor stretches like taffy as she hurls herself into an orbit around the Knight. She punches a shock front out of the bathhouse fog. A tail of shattered porcelain tile chatters in her wake. Alfarel tries to get up to help, but his damn armor. Take Sakaar. Let the singularity pearl in your brow go free. You will go directly into it and become part of the next eternity. You will hear the theorem unending and final sung in full, and when you arrive in the world to come, you will be welcomed to an eternity of satisfaction and challenge in this paradise, which owes a small but vital part of its existence to you. Follow her into eternity. Take Sakaar. But maybe there is no next eternity. Maybe there is nothing. Maybe she's burning on the edge of Sothera forever. The lesser summist grabs at his ankle. He kicks her in the face. She gags up breakfast but doesn't let go of his ankle. She is utterly pathetic. A burned rat spattered in powdered metal and molten quartz, just gray with it. But oh, him. Look how her teeth flash. Look how she snarls against death. Alfarel stares at her as he kicks her in the face over and over, rapt. How can she want so terribly to live? Is it sheer hate that drives her? The need to get at him and purge him from existence? Is it because there's no singularity pearl in her armor, waiting to swallow her up and take her to paradise? Or does she know something about life that he doesn't? Revision 10. Sakar. The monoist is losing. Haliyah can tell. She has her space-bending tricks, but the monoists are too fond of lazy, free trajectories which are, no matter how you mix them up, predictable. The monoist has entropy and momentum on her side, those slow and inevitable powers. But Sir Vondom has that which changes those things. Space is black and empty and dead, but a fusion engine is white-hot. So is a star. White is the color of thrust. Sir Vondom is in control of this fight. All Haliyah has to do is hold this other monoist back from interfering. She thinks she has brain damage, but she holds on to the monoist's ankle. With his armor failed, he's merely a man stomping on her face. She just has to hold him back. Make the difference. Grow the sum. Make sure the future has Sir Vondom in it. He scrabbles like a silverfish to escape, kicking at her hand, at her brow, at the bladiator, smashing its haft against her head. A lot of effort put into prolonged suicide. He came here to die. Why won't he just give up? Take Sakar. All she has to do is keep her gauntlet wrapped around his ankle. There is a dark roar. There is a blast of light. The sucking tidal presence of the monoist fighter snaps off, and something massive strikes the deck. Flickers violet, vanishes. Haliyah suffers through a blast of hot steam. Vondom has killed the main enemy. They've won. Her fingers relax. Her fingers relax. No, she grunts, and grabs for the lesser monoist's foot, but he's slipped out of her grip, climbed right out of his ruined armor. He is a binary ghoul of a man, every part of him pale or black. She swings her bladiator after him, but she's seeing double, and she gets the wrong one. "Yield," Sir Vondom calls. "You're beaten." "No, sir, don't do that. He'll be dead in 5 minutes, and he knows it. He won't yield. He won't. He'll do something fantastically cruel." "I'm going to live," the monoist cries. "Yes," Vondom shouts through the fog. His lidar is all askew, damaged in the battle. He can't tell where the monoist is, so he's trying to burn the fog away, but his light is dim and flickering, tapped out. "You can live. We can put you in a stasis cask. We can cancel your death velocity and save your life." "I'm going to live." Sir Vondom extends a hand to him. "Come then. Choose life." Haliyah's doubled-up vision finally focuses on the monoist. He's kneeling over his armor, grasping, digging. He rears back in triumph. Something in his hand. "Sir!" Haliyah screams. The monoist throws. The singularity bead flashes violet. The collapse takes the monoist's right hand with it, and he screams in agony, but it's done. He's done it. He has thrown away his Sakar. The newborn microvoid hurtles across the chamber and through the wall, penetrating all that sacred gold and iron like so much rotten fruit. Along the way, it goes directly through Sir Vondom's head. Mercy? Poor Haliyah. Alfarel chose to live. He threw away his plummet toward immortality to kill his foe and live a minute longer. Does he deserve to die for it? He can't escape. The Free Company's knights will take him, or the Sherazade will collapse and splatter him into human salsa. But it was a vivacious choice, wasn't it? Another minute of life, weighed against the promise of eternal death and reunion with his sister. And he chose the life. Give him a flagon of infinity and a thimbleful of life, and he'll drain the thimble to the lees. The man knows what he wants. He wants to live. So I ask you, can you grant Alfarel mercy? I will take care of the rest, the changes to the past required to make this mercy possible. But will you grant him a second chance? To go on, to explore this universe, to learn why he thinks life is worth living, or is he an enemy of life? Pass judgment, but know that, in my estimation, there's only one right choice. Some things can only be told in pairs, two things made to annihilate each other, but the trick only works if they're meant to annihilate, and don't. Revision 11. The Captain's Grace. Alfarel stares in giddy disbelief as Sir Vondom, Solar Knight of the Free Company, topples like a drunk. He killed a Solar Knight. He killed a Solar Knight. He's got to live. He's got to get back to the monastery and tell everyone. No one will believe him. Proper credit to Sima. She did the hard work. But maybe this is why he was here. Why he chose not to take Sakar. Maybe this is his free path to destiny. He will go home the slayer of a Solar Knight. He lost his hand. It doesn't hurt at all. The wet rat summist wants to kill him really bad. But she's got a concussion. He runs. He's got 3 minutes before the Cherazade collapses and he splatters. Maybe he can cancel his velocity some other way. Maybe he can steal a ship, set the autopilot to thrust back towards Susur Secundi, and tell it to accelerate to 30 kilometers a second. Maybe he can... He slams face first into another Solar Knight. Alfarel gapes, and then the shining form erases his vision. A microwave field cooks him into a shriek of agony. A snap of electricity sends all his muscles into agonizing spasm, tearing open his stubbed right arm. He shrieks like a choked pig as the knight hauls him close. How long does he have, Quinn? 4 minutes, 40 seconds, sir. I want a prisoner. Can we get anyone in here to save him? We're still in the Cherazade. I don't know if reinforcements will reach us. Damn it. What about the Esteli? Coming at the speed of light, sir. But they don't like to cross event horizons. We have to find a way to get him into Hardlight and crystallize him. I want Enlight to flush out every secret he knows. They came in at 30 kps, sir. I don't know if Hardlight can take that. Sir, may I go to Haliyah? Give her a minute, Quinn. She needs to see that there's nothing she can do. 4 minutes, Alfarel thinks. All I ever wanted was to end my life by plummeting into a black hole, and at the last moment I flinched. I'm a coward. For what, 4 more minutes? Do I really think Rafella's trapped down there, on the edge of eternity, burning? It was a bad dream. It was just a bad dream. Then why did you flinch? His vision fades back in. He screws up his face to snarl. They want to cut his head open? They can hear what's in his head. Then he smells ozone. He licks his lips, sniffs, shakes his head. He's crackingly thirsty. No matter where he looks, there's nothing but light, ozone, and warmth. What's your name? The light asks him. I have 4 minutes to live, he says. He sounds pathetic. He is pathetic. He's going to die and he won't go to the next eternity. Not now, not for billions and billions of years. Not until the whole universe is scooped up and his long-scattered informatic remnants are finally swallowed by a supervoid. And will that really be him? Will the faith still be there, concatenating supervoids, making sure they all go to the next eternity together? He's never going to see Rafella again. For a moment's cowardice, he has surrendered eternal life. Hello, 4 minutes to live, the light says. My name is Slatz. I'm the captain of this instrument, and the coronal of the faithful aboard. You're an Esteli? A traitorous angel. A twin species to the Susurians who founded the true faith. I am. Maybe this is what it feels like when you get your head cut open. What are you doing to me? Why am I here? You struck dead a man who was my friend. I foresaw this. I want to know why. It was war. It wasn't. The others with you fought a war. They are all dead now, consumed by their own despair. They achieved nothing. My sister is in there, he says. In Sothera. You'd destroy her. You'd destroy everything in this system just to undo an act of grace. You could be with her now, but you didn't take Sakaar. Why? Because he wants to live. He wants to be in this universe with its colors and its lights and its feelings and its mysteries. Not any other. He was born under these stars. He's not done with them. I want to live, he chokes. I just want to live, but I want it to be me who lives. Don't burn me hollow. Don't shoot lasers into my head until I'm someone else. I know what you do to prisoners. Don't do it to me. Prove it. Prove what? Prove that you want to live. Haven't I? Haven't I? I was given the chance to fall. I was offered the plummet and I refused. I'm a coward. I can't go back. Even if I went now, even if I fell to the next eternity, what would they think of me? What would Raphella... What would Raphella say? When she had the strength to go, and he failed. Very well, the light says. I sentence you to live. He makes a weak, confused sound. He can hear the wet rat woman working at her fallen knight's armor, trying to sustain what's left of his brain. I killed your friend. You did. But in killing him, you were converted. You see that life now, in this bright span of energy at the beginning of time, is worth more than a long, slow death. Sir Vondom died to show you this truth. I cannot waste that sacrifice. I sentence you to live. For 4 minutes, he says. 4 minutes, then I'm a smear. Perhaps. Even now, my ship is turning towards Susur Secundi to deliver retaliation. For a few minutes, the long axis of the Dawnsire will be pointed back the way you came. Go down the elevator shaft to the nearest flight deck. It is inside your Cherazade. You will find a Hoplite Warmaker waiting for you. Take it and go. Live. Increase the sum. He can't believe this. He's going to say, this is a trick, but what does it matter if it is? It's a chance. And yes, he wants to live. I can't fly your ships, he says. And I've only got one hand. What if I start bleeding out? 3 minutes to live, the light says. You are very hung up on practicalities for a man who has just been given a miracle. It takes him 2 of his remaining minutes to scramble down a spiraling emergency ramp to a flight deck. The lights are out, the hatches are dogged shut. He has to open them with one arm. And someone's following him. Boots clatter down the corkscrew ramp in pursuit. But he makes it to the hatch labeled Deck 18, Ready Flight, Ilios Lampe. Soft green emergency lights bathe the shapes inside. Oh, enemy shapes, but what shapes? 4 Warmakers, armed and fueled, waiting for their pilots. They are alive, growling with power, ready to fly. But they're all plugged into a mess of cables. How is he going to get all the cables off in 1 minute? It's hopeless! And there's blood coming out of his stump now. He's jarred the cauterized flesh open and it's starting to pump. He should sit down. He should rest a little. No! He smashes his stumped arm on the bulkhead and, howling in anguish, dripping blood, he sprints for the nearest Warmakers. He can't have more than 40 seconds left. Captain's compliments, the fighter says. A hatch opens, a ladder falls and flashes rigid. He swarms up inside and slams into the pilot's cradle. Connectors for a flight suit probe at him and withdraw in disappointment. Supportive sacks swell to cushion his body. Get me out of here, Alfarel pants. 30 seconds. Go! Now! Go! The fighter expels its cables and umbilicals. There is a hum of rising activity all around him. And a pause. Passkey not found, the fighter says suspiciously. Verify the code of the day for emergency launch. The code of the day? The wise, luminous Astelli captain chose to spare his life, sent him all this way, and forgot to give him the code. Stand down! A woman screams outside. Abort launch! Day code 4454. No! Alfarel cries. Launch! Emergency launch! Day code 4454. You just copied her code, the fighter says. Of course I did! It's the day code! I don't have my own damn day code! The captain didn't give me one! Consulting standing orders, the fighter says. No clear resolution. Captain's judgment prevails. Stand by. Human hands scrabble at the hatch. 15 seconds until he hits the side of the cockpit and becomes a physics problem. The Warmaker slides forward on its cradle through a grid of laser light, through fields that separate ionized air from hard vacuum. The fighter drops stern first into freefall, plunging down the empty shaft of the Dawnsire stern to prow flight rail. 10 seconds. A fighter has to have a grid of hard light to protect the pilot from acceleration. He needs to reach 30 kilometers a second in 10 seconds, and that means 3 kilometers per second of acceleration. Can hard light take that? Am I going to die? He asks the fighter. Yes, the Vi says. Can I avoid it? Unknown, the Vi says. Permanent immortality of the human body is beyond the reach of science. Questions regarding immortality of the spirit should be directed to your coronal. Stand by for vitrification. A hard light field seizes every atom in Alfarel's body and converts him, very briefly, into a uniform crystal. Not quite living diamond, but hard enough. He doesn't even get to feel it when the launch tube fires, when the Warmaker's plasma magnet catches the shot and hurls him away at a stately 2,500 gravities. Revision 11. Anstruth. A whole life has just turned off. Her life as Sir Vondom's pupil. Her ascent to knighthood under his tutelage. Decades of future just darkened. Curtains. Exit that Haliyah. Enter this Haliyah. The Haliyah who wasn't quick or strong or sure enough to save her knight. The Haliyah who allowed a pathetic fallen foe to throw his suicide through Vondom's skull. If the sum grows because I die today, my death was worthy. Would it grow the sum to find that monoist and burn his face to the skull? He killed Sir Vondom because she was weak, and she has to make it right. There has to be a way, some way to make it right, to make it less wrong. She closes her teeth and holds her jaw rigid and howls. It comes out like a wheeze. She takes 3 steps towards the launch tube as if to hurl herself inside and then spins and screams aloud, "Damn it! Damn it!" Haliyah? Quinidad says, nervously. The other squire stands by the hatch to the emergency ramp. She looks small and tired. What? Haliyah says, at a loss how to behave like a human. You'd better come. You'd better see. See what? Come where? She's being cruel. Yes, I'm sorry. If I have to be around people, I'll have to be... She'll have to listen to them say there was nothing you could do, even though there was. She just failed to do it. She'll have to start being the squire who lost her knight. I don't think I should tell you, Quinidad says. I think you should just come see. Went right through, I suppose, Vondom declares. Look at that. By the sum, it's gone right through me. He shows Haliyah the hole in his helmet, then the hole in his face, just to the left of his nose. Then he turns carefully and shows her the matching black hole in the back of his skull. It's scorched and perfectly round, and no bigger than a pinhead. She stares in wonder. She tries to say, "You're alive!" She throws up on the deck. Understandable, Vondom says sympathetically. He turns his helmet over to confirm that, yes, there is a matching hole drilled through the back. I saw the brightest flash I think I have ever seen, brighter than eyes alone could see. Then I blacked out and woke up to Captain Slatz here, looking disappointed. The captain's form turns the bathhouse fog into a golden glory. That's always the way with prophecy, isn't it? We see the moment, but not the context. You died, but you were not dead. Haliyah, bent over to clean up her own vomit, begins laughing. She can't stop. "Oh, some!" she cries. "Oh, sir, I thought... Oh, what did I think? I thought... Oh, balls and some!" A ray of the Estelli's luminance passes over her. "Squire," the captain says, "your brain is badly bruised." "My brain is bruised?" Haliyah's laugh sucks in powdered metal and vaporized porcelain. She begins hacking, but she can't stop laughing either. "My brain is bruised." Her knight is alive. A tiny black hole has gone through his skull, and he's alive. "You should be on the bridge, Slatz," Sir Vondom says. "The ship needs you." I only left the bridge seconds ago, outside the Cherizard. A few seconds more and they will receive word that we have defeated this incursion, and the Cherizard has collapsed. I sent Sir Walker to secure the nearest inhibitor and dispose of any bombs aboard. The other 2 battles are still in progress, but we expect a favorable resolution. One of them has a bomb, but Nastelli has gone in to disable it. Vondom squints at Slatz through the hole in his helmet. You came all this way just to check on my death? I came all this way to see your killer. I foresaw him also. Yes. Vondom gathers his weapons. Hard to figure how that was so probable that you foresaw it as a certainty. I'd ask the man if he meant to do it, if he wasn't slime on a bulkhead. No, Haliyah wheezes. He got away. I saw him take a hope light and go. Maybe he could have survived the jolt when his vector caught up to him. Vondom looks up sharply. What? Take a hope light? How? Captain Slatz let him? Vondom wheels back in shock. You let a monoist suicide commando board this vessel, test our defenses, and fly away? He's not a monoist anymore. Or suicidal. He's finding out how to live. Captain, from a human perspective, that's shockingly naive. From an Nastelli perspective, Sir Vondom, that is why you need the sum. They should report to a medic. Haliyah's knight has severe brain trauma, and so does she. Come on, Vondom insists. Come on, Haliyah, it's your first victory. We've got to show your face. Come on. They stagger out onto the floor of the Synotic Sobor, and a cheer goes up like birdsong from all around. Technics in their nooks ululate and howl. Vondom, swollen at his nose and at the nape of his skull, throws up his arms and cheers back. Haliyah can't stop laughing, though her lungs are going to rags. They won. They faced death and won. They passed through prophecy, predetermined death, and lawyered their way to a happy ending. Captain Slatz flashes through the walls of iconostasis, back to the command pulpit. Its voice peals like thunder. We were struck by 3 inhibitors. All 3 incursions were defeated. By my authority as coronel of this ship, I have ordered retaliation against Susur Secundi. We came to this star to save it from its prison. But along the way to liberation, we may spare a few terawatts to rebuke our foe. The cheers redouble. It's gone wrong, Sir Vondom murmurs in Haliyah's ear. Sir? Captain Slatz, it's gone wrong. He looks at the hole in his helmet. You were right. The prophecy was a trick. That monoist putting a hole in my head wasn't inevitable, unless something made it inevitable. Sir, a hole in the brain must do damage, even if it lets you live. Her knight may be inflamed, encephalitic, and on the way to a sort of temporary, wounded madness. Anstruth, Vondom says grimly. You were right. It's real. More real than I am now. She stares at him. I don't understand. The event of that black hole passing through my head was made inevitable. It was an engineered outcome, a blasphemy against reality. An Anstruth. I don't know how it was done, but I have a damn good theory, Haliyah. And if I'm right, then I must be under the same influence. I am also an Anstruth. Living blasphemy. Sir, it's just a wound. Think of the improbabilities, Haliyah. That monoist throws away his shot at paradise just to try to kill me, and it works. And the captain foresees it as inevitable. The dice were loaded. And because Slatz foresaw that inevitability, it was present to show the monoist mercy and allow him off the ship. No, Haliyah, it's too much to credit. What are you saying? She whispers. I'm saying that something wants that monoist alive. Something he made contact with in the past, or something he will come into contact with in the future. But that doesn't mean that you... The Astelli are vulnerable, Haliyah. Their bodies are lattices of quantum probability, not as wet and noisy as us. And me, I wasn't vulnerable. Not until my life depended on the exact trajectory of a quantum void through my skull. Now? Who knows? Impulsively, she touches his brow. He is burning hot. But then again, he is a solar knight. She gives him the unabashed scrutiny of the medic, checking his pupils left and right. We should report to the medic, sir. Yes, we should. A concussion is a serious injury, Squire. But once we're fit again, we're going after him. Him, the one who would, except for the slimmest fortune, have killed her knight. I would like that very much, sir, she says. But it may be a long time before you're well to travel. I'll go as I am, if the sum requires it. He touches the hole in his head, frowns at his hand, as if expecting to find a hole in it too. I'm sorry that I lived. Sir? Oh, I'm not sorry that I'm alive, Haliyah. Never that. I'm glad to be alive. But I've just denied you the defining moment of your life. I just prevented the existence of a Haliyah who suffered my loss and made herself worth it. I would have been very sad not to meet her if I died. And now I am sad not to meet her, though I lived. Sir, she says with passion, I would much rather be worth your life than your death. Life is greater. The Dawnsire looks like a javelin. It moves like a javelin. It hurls disaster at the monuments of the enemy like the goddess hurls javelins in myth. The mechanism which undoes a supervoid into a star is in fact called the Horizon Javelin. It is at the Dawnsire's heart. The Dawnsire's work requires tremendous energy, more than it can carry in its slender hull. So, as lungs fuel a heart, it also has machines to fuel the Horizon Javelin. At the prow of the Dawnsire are a pair of Ignacio free electron lasers. The crews who work on them call them Nacho and Nacha. They are energized by wigglers capable of rendering a man down to mist, and each laser can focus the beam tight enough to split buttons on a shirt at 1,000,000 kilometers. The purpose of Nacho and Nacha is to steal power from dark gods. Fire a laser on the right path around a supervoid, and the laser will slingshot around, returning to its starting point with greater energy than it had when it left. This power can be used to fire the laser again, and the spare harvested to charge up the Horizon Javelin. Isn't that ingenious? Achieve unlimited energy by trick-shooting yourself in the ass. Of course, Nacha and Nacho can also be used as orthodox lasers, meaning weapons. Listen closely. You will hear the technics in their Exedra speaking a special prayer. Shot 18. Navara, Navara, Navara. Program. Target range 60 million kilometers. Apparent motion 2 microradians per second. Drawing lead for 200 seconds. Switchyard released to Vi. Devolving beamform authority. Scaling subvisor workers. Programmed hold. Polling response management for blockers. Shot captain clears hold. Power to program. Stand by. The Dawnsire is not aimed at Susur Secundi. It is aimed at the place Susur Secundi will be in 200 seconds. Nacha fires. The pulse train of laser energy strikes across 200 light seconds to the monoist monastery world. The disciples of him who falls have prepared. Space is blistered and mazed. Thuribles spread fields of energy-soaking incense. Nacha's train splinters and blooms over the face of Susur Secundi. The fractured world below shines with warlight. Fields of incense blaze up as plasma. The beam jitters slightly. Tiny sounds and trembles in the Dawnsire's hull are amplified into errors in the whole beam's path. Nacho doesn't fire. Not yet. Nacho is watching. After all, any laser capable of focusing at 60 million kilometers is also a superb telescope. Nacho maps the path of Nacha's pulse train, finds its own aim point, and fires. Shot 19. Orison, Orison, Orison. Program. Target range 60 million kilometers. Target in active litigation. A vicious race begins. Each lap is 400 seconds long enough for light to go there and back again. Nacho and Nacha try to map the monoist defenses and find a clear path through while the monoists hurry to adjust their own maze. Nacho and Nacha stab out again. Salvoing their disapproval at the warped orbit of Susur Secundi until So much sooner than the Monoist tactical models predicted. Nacho hits. The monastery in construction above Susur Secundi jets violet plasma and lurches in its orbit. Exploded stone gushes like an artery into the maze world sky, fading slowly to a red bruise. As the light of the exchange spreads, every living thing with eyes in Sothera can see, scratched across the sky, the blood of the war in heaven. And if any of those eyes take note of the Hoplite Warmaker burning furiously away from Dawnsire, headed anywhere but home, they do not say. Not yet.